Hello guys, Sujari speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM Reacts, episode number 873, and today we're reacting to Sonic Adventure with game84cube as a guest on Fairly OddGamer. Episode number 19. React to this beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you.
So loud, my TV. Title card is designed by. Hang on. One moment. Okay. Gotta turn down my TV real quick. Because my TV is. It's getting late outside, so we might as well do something. Anyway, Fairly OddGamer and Sonic Adventure. Continue on. Title card designed by Brandon, whatever I don't pronounce it, and special game guest reviewer, game84cube. Continue on.
Hello, internet viewers. I'm the Fairly OddGamer. After reviewing a countless amount of Disney games, it's best to step back and talk about games that are not based on movies and TV.
Okay.
Disney has for a long time and has recently got its own live-action movie adaptation. That's
Yeah.
right. I'm going to talk about another game based on a well-known franchise that is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
I've talked about Sonic on my channel before with Sonic Riders, as well as my top 10 Sonic games.
Good.
For almost 30 years, Sonic has been loved and cherished by most gamers from his 2D games from the Genesis, as well as his 3D games from today. With a few exceptions, of course. In addition to his video game success, he's made multiple appearances in film and television. He's even had a few cartoon shows of his own with Saturday AM, Sonic X, and Sonic Boom, among others. With the live-action movie now released in theaters, it's probably best to talk about a game that I personally enjoy, and it happens to be my all-time favorite 3D Sonic game. That game is Sonic Adventure. Since there are multiple versions of this game, I decided to once again run a Twitter poll to determine which version I should review. So based on that, I'll be talking about Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. But before I do,
I'll be right back. I'm back, folks. Sorry for the delay. I just came back from a unnecessary thing, but notification in my background, so that's just me, of course. Let's continue on. I'll be talking about Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. But before I do, let's talk about how Sonic Adventure came to be. Okay.
Before that, you're letting me in on this party.
Wow.
And who are you?
My name's GC. Nice to be here. You're the kind of weird player, I guess?
Actually, it's Fairly OddGamer.
Really? Does that mean that you'll disappear now that I know about you or something?
Not necessarily. Anyway, what are you doing here?
What else? I know this game like the back of my hand. Of course I'm gonna chime in on one of my favorite games reviews. It's gonna be awesome.
Mine as well. Anyway, what do you know about Sonic Adventure?
Well...
Ever since Mario made his 3D debut in '96 with Super Mario 64, all Sonic fans had their eyes on the Hedgehog to make his jump to 3D. His first attempt was Sonic 3D Blast for the Sega Genesis as well as the Saturn, a console with a not-so-good library of games at a really high price.
Okay.
The game was okay, but it had an isometric view, so it really wasn't the jump that fans were going for.
Okay,
There was
makes
also
sense.
Sonic Jam, which not only had a compilation of Sonic games from the Genesis era, but also had a mode called Sonic World, where Sonic completes missions in a 3D environment.
Okay.
It was promising, but the graphics looked kind of dated. And let's face it, it wasn't much more than a fancy hub world to access features. Then there was Sonic R, a racing game where Sonic actually decided to use his feet for once. We don't talk about their first attempts at a racing game. Yeah, it's the same case of Sonic Jam. It's an okay game, but it had primitive 3D graphics. And the controls took some serious getting used to. Sonic's true jump to 3D was originally going to be Sonic Extreme for the Saturn, but it ended up being cancelled after multiple engine problems and missed deadlines.
And if you watch this remix, for you, buddy, continue on.
However, in 1998, Sega would release the Sega Dreamcast. And
Wow.
came Sonic Adventure. This right here was Sonic's true jump into 3D. And as
Wow.
the gamer mentioned before, it went through multiple ports. It was on the GameCube, Xbox Live, PSN, and even Steam.
After 20 years of the game's existence, does it still hold up? Let's find out.
Okay.
First off, I love this game's intro. It starts out very peacefully on a normal day when suddenly a great spirit of water pops out of the sewer causing havoc around the peaceful city.
Complete with a random singing water lizard, apparently.
Wow.
After hearing a snippet of the main theme, Open Your Heart, the game begins.
We play as 6 separate characters, each with their own storyline and ability. For this review, we'll do our very best to combine each character's storyline into one cohesive story. As each ship approaches Angel Island, last seen in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, as you see Knuckles guarding the Master Emerald from any danger.
I don't know why I was given this job, why it was my fate. Destined to be here forever.
But suddenly a monster made entirely out of water breaks out of the Master Emerald, which causes the island to vibrate. Why, you may ask?
Without the Master Emerald's power, this whole island will fall into the ocean.
And it does just that. The island falls into the ocean, which causes a frog to wake up in the forest below. Oh no, the horror, what tragedy, oh no. The water monster charges the frog and the commotion wakes up Big the cat, the frog's possibly self-proclaimed best friend. One look at his friend shows something fishy is about to happen.
What's up with the tail?
Wow.
Not to mention, Froggy also swallows his lucky charm, a Chaos Emerald.
Come on for Lucky Charm cereal. Continue on.
This whole ordeal importance of the plot. As Big runs after Froggy, we head over to Station Square where we see Sonic returning after a long journey.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
This is happening!
He notices some cop cars heading towards City Hall where the same monster arrives. And the monster absorbs bullets and shots at him, causing him to retreat! All personnel, fall back! Sonic arrives at the scene, resulting in the first boss battle against Chaos. It's a pretty simple boss battle, unless you're a certain Grump who's not very good at this game.
No, honestly, I do respect the Game Grumps. Yeah, I love the Game Grumps, and I want to react to those some other time, but that's just me. And the work they put in each video they make, and it's so hilarious to watch. Continue on.
After a few bops to the head, Chaos escapes via storm drain as Eggman suddenly appears on a rooftop.
You know nothing, fool! It's Chaos, the god of destruction!
Okay.
We then see Tails flying a plane, which suddenly malfunctions and is about to crash. Ah! Speaking of which, Sonic is sleeping by the poolside as he sees Tails crash the plane on the beach, which leads to Sonic's first level, Emerald Coast. You have Sonic running along the shoreline, busting badniks, bouncing along springs and dash panels, and of course, being chased by a massive angry killer whale, which I swear goes after Sonic like it's open season on hedgehogs.
Let me say right now that we love Sonic's gameplay. Everything he does from the 2D games is successfully transferred over to the 3D world with his platforming, speed, it's all there. And the homing attack, which allows him to home onto enemies by pressing the jump button while in midair. He has a revamped spin dash activated by holding the action button and letting go.
He's also got his classic power-ups, such as invincibility, speed shoes, and the shield. Speaking of which, there's also the electric shield from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which magnetizes rings towards him. No double jump, unfortunately. The goal of each of his missions is to have Sonic open a capsule to free the animals, unless otherwise, like reaching a certain area, or in this case, rescuing Tails.
While that's going on, Knuckles arrives at Station Square as he makes his way to City Hall, leading to his first level, Speed Highway. In each level, Knuckles has to find 3 pieces of a Master Emerald that are scattered around. There's a radar that helps you determine how far or how close you are to any of the pieces. The faster it beeps, the closer you are to an emerald piece. If you're stuck, you can find a special hint orb that guides you to where the emerald pieces are.
This way!
The level ends when Knuckles finds all 3 pieces of the Master Emerald.
Back at Emerald Coast, Sonic saves Tails and they make their way back to the poolside.
Good, makes sense.
They're used to that line, folks. Sega really likes that phrase. Anyway, it turns out that Tails was testing out his prototype plane, which crashed early on, using a Chaos Emerald as its power source. Whoa!
Wow.
Sonic and Tails make their way to the Mystic Ruins by train. Once they arrive, they come across Dr. Eggman!
Wow.
The greatest scientific genius in the world!
Nobody cares anymore. In case you didn't know, Robotnik is actually what he was known as in America, but Eggman was his name in Japan. Just wanted to clear the air there. Anyway, Eggman tells Sonic and Tails to hand over the Chaos Emeralds, or else.
Or else what, you big loser? Or else I'll take them from you by force! The hard way!
Wow.
Is force not the hard way, Eggman?
It then leads to the next boss level, or first boss if you're playing as Tails, the Egg Hornet. Eggman launches homing missiles at you and 2 drills for close combat. And you attack Eggman. Here's a little hint for you speedrunners out there. By playing as Sonic, you can quickly tap the jump button to have him spam the homing attack that can end the boss battle in about a minute.
Makes sense.
Try when you get a chance.
They both destroy the Egg Hornet, but Eggman still manages to snatch the emerald via a claw, and he feeds the emerald to Chaos, the water monster from before. He evolves with each Chaos Emerald given to him. If he gets all 7 emeralds, he'll be unstoppable. Eggman plans to use Chaos to destroy Station Square and build Robotnik Land in its ruins. Eggman and Chaos vanish as Sonic and Tails find the Windstone, which they use to unlock the next level, Windy Valley. The level mostly takes place outside in the field with various slopes and tracks in the sky. And that's not even the craziest part, because 1/3 of the level is literally running inside the eye of a tornado.
While we're here, let's talk about Tails' gameplay. Tails has the race to the fence before his opponent, normally Sonic. In addition, Tails has dash springs, which he can fly through in order to gain more speed while flying. The goal is pretty much the same as Sonic's, unless otherwise. Tails has plenty of speed in platforms like Sonic, so it's good enough for me. So Sonic and Tails retrieve the Chaos Emerald as Sonic makes his way to the sewer and finds the Lightspeed shoes, which lets him perform the Lightspeed dash.
The Lightspeed dash lets you race toward rings at light speed.
But you first have to store a power by holding the action button and release once he says he's ready. You can also grab the crystal ring at this point, which reduces the charge-up time for the Lightspeed dash. Thank goodness for that.
Also, I forgot to mention that Tails can find the jet anklet at the beginning of the story if you do enough exploring around Station Square.
Its jet power makes you fly faster.
Anyway, Sonic and Tails make their way to Casinopolis. As Sonic, you have to gather enough rings by playing pinball and going through the dilapidated zone where Tails races Sonic. Speaking of pinball, I love the Knights cameo. For those who don't know, Knights was another franchise developed by Sega and was released originally for the Sega Saturn.
Wow.
I knew that when I was a kid. I was stuck there wondering why I was playing cards on a pinball table with some girl-looking thing that was flying around. Oops.
By gathering enough rings, Sonic nabs the Chaos Emerald. However, Sonic and Tails end up getting gassed by Eggman while taking a second Chaos Emerald. Meanwhile, Knuckles also makes his way to Casinopolis as he finds more pieces of the Master Emerald. After doing so, Knuckles gets interrupted by a ball of light that warps him into the Mystic Ruins of the past. The Mystic Ruins was once ruled by an Echidna tribe. Knuckles does come across the Call as well as her father, Pakakamak, as he tells the Call about the Chaos Emeralds and why he needs them in the first place.
The 7 emeralds are essential to our survival. It is for the good of all our people.
The Call tells her father that it's not right to attack other people in order to maintain peace.
Yes.
Knuckles gets sent back to Station Square as he sees Sonic and Tails already gassed by Eggman.
I wonder what those guys are doing.
I feel like we were all asking that question about Takal and Pac-Mac in the past when we first played the game.
We should also point out that they can also talk to other characters from the story as well as the NPCs, or non-playable characters. It's fine, but I don't think some of the stuff they say are that important.
There is Mr. Know-It-All, some little smart guy who thinks he knows how to be you better than you do and acts all smug about it. Jerk.
Anyway, Knuckles runs into Eggman thinking that he's holding a Master Emerald piece, when it's really the Chaos Emerald that he took from Sonic and Tails. As you may have guessed, Eggman calls out Chaos and feeds him the Emerald. It then leads to a boss battle against Chaos 2, which is Knuckles' first boss battle.
Makes
Chaos
sense.
2 can bounce into a ball, which is immediately stopped by Knuckles' gliding ability, and a Super Punch, which makes it freeze. Knuckles can then attack him once frozen. Knuckles defeats Chaos 2, as Eggman tells Knuckles that Sonic is after the Master Emerald pieces as well.
I wonder what he meant by that.
Yeah.
Find Sonic.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sonic and Tails wake up from the knockout gas and realize that even though they still have 1 emerald, Eggman now has 2. Meanwhile, Big somehow arrives at Station Square and is still trying to find Froggy, which he then finds by a sewer underneath a random car. Big enters the sewer after lifting up the entire car, by the way, and he shockingly ends up in Twinkle Park, which happens to be his first level.
Wow.
Hey, I know we haven't talked about the gameplay for Amy or Gammy yet, but the gameplay for Big is definitely worth talking about.
Yes.
Big only has one goal and one goal only, to fish and catch Froggy. Honestly, why must there be fishing in a Sonic game? A typical Sonic game needs to have speed and platforming, and that's a good thing because that's what Sonic is known for. Fishing, on the other hand, is not one of them. All Big has to do is find a pool of water, cast his lure, and just fish. You can maneuver the rod by tilting the analog stick, and if anything takes the bait, then Big says this.
Something's biting.
If you reel in too quickly, his fishing line would break and cost him a life. However, if you do catch something other than Froggy, it basically does nothing except give you a higher score. The level does end when Big manages to catch Froggy. Like a majority of people who play this game, were not very keen on Big's gameplay. It might be because of Sega's bass fishing also for the Dreamcast, but it just doesn't work in a Sonic game.
Actually, it was added because they believed gamers would need a break from all the adrenaline pumping action. So they gave us the exact opposite of a Sonic game within a Sonic game.
Yeah.
Inconceivable.
Exactly.
Let's get to Gamma now. Eggman awaits E102 Gamma and takes him to the shooting range taking place in the final egg. Gamma gameplay involves locking onto multiple targets that not only gives him a better score, but also to increase his time limit. You heard right. Gamma's levels have a time limit. Maybe because of a faulty battery? I don't know. Anyway, Gamma shoots the Sonic doll as Eggman tells Gamma about the egg carrier and then he needs a crew. He brings in E101 Beta, who Gamma must fight against in order to be granted permission to serve on the egg carrier as part of Eggman's crew.
Yes.
Gamma gets Eggman's permission, but Beta doesn't take it very well.
We could always use a spare
Wow.
set of parts, I guess.
Dark. Back in Station Square, Sonic and Tails find the Ice Stone and take it to the Mystic Ruins, where a gaping hole blows out of the rocky terrain. Somehow. It's still not clear on how it happened. It then leads to Ice Cap, which you might remember from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's an okay level until you get to the snowboarding portion, which we definitely get a kick out of.
Feels like surfing on the snow.
Wow.
Dude, did somebody say surfing?
Ox, what are you doing here?
It's to call the waves, dude.
I see.
You know, I've always wanted to surf in the snow.
Wouldn't that just be snowboarding?
Did you know that the original name for the snowboard was actually the Snurfer?
Yeah.
It is like surfing on snow.
Yeah.
Really? I never knew that. Maybe I should try that sometime. Anyway, I was just curious. Later, dude.
Funny. My horoscope said I'd be upstaged by a surfer dog today. I thought it was baloney, but lo and behold.
Whatever.
While that's going on, Knuckles arrives at the Mystic Ruin as he finds a shovel claw, which allows him to dig through dirt.
Okay.
After calling a monkey via monkey destruction switch, it leads to Red Mountain, where Knuckles finds more pieces of the Master Emerald. Meanwhile, Big finds the Ice Stone as he makes his way to the Ice Cap, where, once again, Big has to find Froggy. I do want to point out that he does get the life belt, which allows him to float in water.
Makes
Like the
sense.
Jet Anklet, Big can also have the Power Rod, allowing him longer casting distance. I would say that it requires enough exploring, is that you can clearly see the power-up in the very first cutscene of his story.
Hey, he keeps it under his bed. Probably the most logical he's ever been in his life.
And another thing about the life belt. During stages, Big
Hold on, what is that again?
leaves him being right next to Froggy.
Hold on.
To ask this question that's been asked by several other reviewers, including Johnny, what right next to Froggy? Leading me to ask this
Hold
question,
on.
allowing him longer casting distance. I would say that it requires enough exploring, is that you can clearly see the power-up in the very first cutscene of his story.
Hey, he keeps it under his bed. Probably the most logical he's ever been in his life.
And another thing about the life belt.
And it cut it out? Okay, continue on.
During stages, Big can dive underwater, which leaves him being right next to Froggy. Leading me to ask this question that's been asked by several other reviewers, including Johnny, why can't I just grab him? He's right there.
Gamer, calm down. Think too hard about it, and you'll be questioning the logic of fast blue hedgehogs.
Yeah, you're right.
Back to Knuckles. He runs into Sonic and Tails, just like Eggman told him. Knuckles thinks Sonic is holding a piece of the Master Emerald. Okay, let's talk about character battles. Like Big's fishing, we ain't too keen on character battles. They just simply are good enough for a laugh. And we all know why.
Oh no.
Fun fact, this one line was actually taken from the E3 demo version.
Yeah, for its courtesy of Speedish Highway. Okay, that makes more sense. Continue on.
Just wanted to point that out.
Sonic and Knuckles collide into each other as both emeralds fly out of Sonic's grasp and are immediately swiped by Eggman.
Wow. Wow.
Knuckles then finds out it was actually a Chaos Emerald and Eggman was tricking him again. And Eggman then feeds both emeralds to, you guessed it, Chaos. Sadly, I never got to see a Chaos 3.
Yeah, can you imagine what that would look like?
Anyway, it leads to a boss battle against Chaos 4. And this battle is the most repetitive in the entire game. You basically fight this freaky fish thing 3 times. Once as Sonic, once as Tails, and once as Knuckles. Nothing changes. It's the same thing again and again. I mean, sure, the Egg Hornet was the same thing twice, but that was over with quickly. This, you're waiting for him to randomly pop up and then smack him 5 times. It's so boring.
I know.
In Chaos 4, this huge ship called the Egg Carrier arrives, and Eggman gets transported into it.
That thing always looked like a tongue to me. Anyone else see that?
Anyway, Sonic and Tails take the tornado as they try to infiltrate the Egg Carrier, which leads to the first minigame, Sky Chase Act 1. I want to point out that you have to play this level in both Sonic and Tails' stories. You control the plane and either shoot at enemies or be like Gamma and lock targets onto enemies, such as planes and bombs. Unlike Gamma, there's no time limit for the minigame. Unfortunately, the Egg Carrier fires into the tornado, causing the plane to crash.
Wow.
Sonic, you're not on a roller coaster. You're falling to your doom.
So he's like, yeah, we're gonna die.
Oh God. Yeah, as we Tails yells out, yeah, while Sonic yells out, whoa, afterwards. Let us know in the comments below. What's this about? I don't know.
While that fiasco is going on, Knuckles makes his way to the jungle area as he finds two stone statues, one made of gold and one made of silver. This is also the area where you can have the fighting gloves, which gives him the maximum heat Knuckles attack. And it's pretty much the same thing as something Sonic gets later. Plus, they're yellow and just ugly looking. I always miss the white gloves. After finding those statues, he enters Lost World.
No! None of that! Shame on you.
He's in the stage Lost World, where he yet again finds more pieces of the Master Emerald. Just like in Casinopolis, Knuckles is once again transported to the mystic ruins of the past, courtesy of the Ball of Light. He once again finds Tikal and tries to find a way to protect the Master Emerald from her father. Honestly, at this point it just feels like a lost cause. I mean, look at the guy. He doesn't even have pupils. The guy's probably possessed.
Gamma, now part of Eggman's crew, is told by Eggman to find a tailed frog, which happens to be Froggy.
Yeah.
You may ask?
This frog is absolutely vital for my plans.
We'll
Wow.
find out soon enough. Sonic crashes onto the beach as he finds a small girl for some reason, but he's still worried about Tails though.
Oh, I wonder if he's okay.
At long last,
Wow.
we finally get to Amy's story. We see Amy shopping for some reason as she begins to reminisce about her adventures with Sonic. The side becomes dark for some reason. But in reality, it's the egg carrier looming over Station Square. However, a small bird bumps into Amy, and now both she and the bird are being chased by E100 Alpha, or as the game calls it, Zero. Not that. Not that either. Okay, now you're just messing with me.
Yeah, maybe. While we're at it, let's talk about the voice acting. For the first time, Sonic and the gang are fully voiced in-game. We all know that the lip syncing is terrible, but that's one of the issues when you try to dub a game that was originated in Japan. I don't mind the voice acting in this game, but it's something that hasn't aged very well. I mean, just look at Sonic.
After hiding in a restaurant, Amy catches sight of Sonic and wants him to be the bird's bodyguard for some reason, but she catches up to Sonic again, only now in Twinkle Park. After Amy reads that cute couples can get in free, both Sonic and Amy enter the next level, or first level for Amy, Twinkle Park. While we're at it, the soundtrack in this game is amazing. It has everything from rock, pop, jazz, it's all there. Plus, this game has recycled music from the Genesis version of Sonic 3D Blast, like Emerald Coast is the Spring Stadium, Windy Valley de Air is the Green Grove Act 1, and the kart racing section from Twinkle Park is the Panic Puppet Act 1, as well as the intro cutscene.
Makes
One
sense.
of my favorite tracks, which I'll talk about later, are Speed Highway and Final Egg, but we'll get to them when we get to them. By the way, JC, what are your thoughts on the game's soundtrack?
Oh, I can't get enough of it. I listen to it almost all the time. Some of my favorites are Emerald Coast, Speed Highway, Final Egg second half, Red Mountain second half, the list goes on. This is one of my favorite gaming soundtracks of all time.
Back to Twinkle Park, this level for Sonic includes kart racing and a theme park, which I find enjoyable. Amy has a Hall of Mirrors section, which I find a bit disorienting for me personally. But let's talk about Amy's gameplay for a bit.
Oh, okay. Pass some of the blandest parts of the game to the guest. I see how it is. Nah, I'm kidding. Amy has a slower, more methodical way of traversing through the levels. She can't curl into a ball, so he ain't defeating enemies by jumping or rolling. That's where her trusty Pico Pico Hammer comes in.
Which she finds from the Quad Ruin Zone boss from Sonic 2 in the midst of Eggman's failed inventions.
And yet we'll never learn where she keeps it. Anyway, it's kind of inaccurate, but if you have good aim, a normal swing gets the job done. When running, she swings her hammer down and takes off into the air, gaining a good amount of distance and height. However, Zero is chasing her the entire time, and he's pretty relentless. You smack her with her hammer to get him off you, but eventually you'll just make him mad and he'll become invincible for a few seconds. As for clearing the stage, you escape via a special balloon at the end of the stage. Sometimes you'll hide in a barrel to avoid detection, but it doesn't usually work, so we don't bother. It seems more puzzle and platforming oriented in her playstyle, almost Mario-esque. It's kind of interesting. If she isn't your cup of tea, she only has 3 levels, so you don't gotta worry too much.
Sonic loses track of Amy once he exits Twinkle Park, but he finds a business card by a tree leading to his next level, Speed Highway.
Yeah.
This level may be one of the best levels in the entire game because it shows Sonic's true sense of speed in this game. It even got a revamped version in Sonic Generations more than 10 years later. The later portions of the level include running down the side of a building and exploring a busy highway. Meanwhile, Tails is wandering around in the jungle area of Mystic Ruins, but then suddenly catches a small glimpse of Sonic running by and decides to chase after him. However, it turns out that it was actually a dream and worries about Sonic.
Wonder where he went. Sure hope he's alright.
He figures that in order to get to the egg carrier, he needs to finish his updated protocol, the Tornado 2, which needs a Chaos Emerald to make work. Luckily, he finds one in the middle of the jungle, but then Froggy, out of nowhere, swipes the emerald and makes off into the close-by tunnel. For the record, this area is blocked off until you press a switch, so it honestly makes it even funnier that Froggy just buries his way through. It then leads to the next minigame exclusively for Tails, Sand Hill. It's exactly like snowboarding session in an ice cap, but it's a desert instead of the snow.
And what's it like, you may ask? Well, in the words of Anakin Skywalker,
It's
Wow.
rough and irritating.
And it gets everywhere.
After Tails catches Froggy with his hand, unlike Big, who never does that, Tails is transported via ball of light to, you guessed it, the Mystic Ruins in the past. He finds the rhythm badge, which lets him perform continuous tailspin attacks, and finds the call as she recites a poem that her grandmother once taught her.
The servers are the 7 chaos. Chaos is power. Power enriched by the heart. The controller is the one that unifies the chaos.
Before he can tell to call his name after she so politely introduced herself, Tails gets transported back to the present-day Mystic Ruins, still holding Froggy as he spots Big running towards him. Oh joy! Froggy escapes from Tails' grasp, resulting in Big chasing after Froggy. Dude, take a hint. Tails manages to retrieve the Chaos Emerald and makes his way to the workshop, putting the final touches on the Tornado 2.
Back in Station Square, Amy escapes the robot in Twinkle Park and she loses track of Sonic. But she suddenly gets captured by Zero. Sonic, still trying to find Amy, finds her and the robot en route to the Mystic Ruins. At the same time, Big arrives at Station Square as he finds Froggy crossing the road. Frog or anyone? But Big makes his way to the poolside as he makes his way to his next level and will coast. We'll talk about that momentarily. Amy, still in Zero's grasp, arrives in the Mystic Ruins, but Sonic manages to catch up to them via train.
Anyone else notice that Amy shouted through really thick glass? That's pretty impressive.
However, the egg carrier arrives as Eggman takes both Zero as well as Amy. Gamma ends up in Station Square in search for Froggy as he too makes his way to his next level, Emerald Coast. Let's start with Big's section. As always, Big has to fish for Froggy. By the way, is it just me, or does the music for this level feel more relaxing? I feel this music would be perfect for a fishing level. Now with Gamma. Gamma goes through pretty much Sonic's area of Emerald Coast, but changes in order to apply to his abilities, because Sonic can't run through loops like Sonic can. Wanna know why we combine both versions of Emerald Coast?
That's why.
Wow.
Gamma gets transported to the Mystic Ruins from the past as he tries to determine the location of where he's at, but to no prevail.
This presents a problem.
Gamma finds a group of chows singing in peace as the call explains to Gamma about this riveting ritual.
Ugh, evidently chow singing lessons weren't a thing in the days of the Echidna tribe. Good lord.
Speaking of which, Knuckles ends up back in front of the altar as he puts together the Master Emerald pieces, only to find out that it's still incomplete. He then finds out that the remaining pieces are in the egg carrier, but suddenly Gamma arrives for some reason, resulting in Knuckles following Gamma to Eggman's base.
Meanwhile, Sonic nabs the Ancient Light, giving him the Lightspeed attack, which he uses to destroy the Monkey Guard. Can I just say, I love the Lightspeed attack. It's honestly one step away from being a screen nuke, and that's
Kind of reminds me of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers music. Continue on.
incredible. Besides, use it right, you're set on a roller coaster ride bashing enemies.
Wow.
Anyway, this leads to Sonic's next level, Red Mountain, where he finds the egg carrier. This glorious crag is the crown jewel of Angel Island. Apparently, it wasn't in Sonic 3. I don't know, maybe the Red Mountains lead to Lava Reef in a dark alley. I mean, what's up with the music?
Tails, now flying the Tornado 2, finds Sonic as they once again infiltrate the egg carrier in Sky Chase Act 2. It's the same as the previous Sky Chase, except that the Tornado 2 can now transform and is able to stop the giant laser by shooting at it. Meanwhile, Gamma ends up getting transported back in the egg carrier with the frog that Eggman asked for, as Eggman teleports the other robots elsewhere for not being able to follow his orders.
Wow.
Eggman then tells Gamma to get the bird that traveled with Amy, but Gamma ends up finding Beta being revamped. It then leads to our favorite moment in Gamma's story.
This is the wrong room.
Gotta
Okay.
love blunt force trauma.
Huh?
Well, he was traumatized, and he forced himself to be blunt, right?
You know what? Let's just move on.
Shut up, it was funny.
Sonic tells himself
Yeah, Big Bang Theory references. Continue on.
But Tails tells Sonic that,
There's no landing gear in this mode.
Wow.
which results in them crash landing the plane onto the egg carrier.
So you had all that time to make a pointless transformation, but never put on wheels? Tails, what the f-
While trying to find Amy, Eggman changes the egg carrier's shape as Knuckles makes his way to the egg carrier. Eggman tells Sonic and Tails that in order to get to him, they both had to make it through the Sky Deck. At the same time, Knuckles senses the Master Emerald, which are also in the Sky Deck. Sky Deck is probably our least favorite stage in the entire game, and here's why. There are so many ways to die in this level, mainly by bottomless pits. As Sonic and Tails, they both have to run through the Sky Deck by destroying cannons via rocket and traversing through the ship's tilted altitude. As Knuckles, he has to find the remaining pieces of the Master Emerald while controlling the ship's tilt.
Makes
Either
sense.
way, it's still not a fun level.
God, the claustrophobia of the first part, the dizzying tilting of the last stage, the wind, the guns, the everything trying to kill you. Eggman, you outdid yourself, and that ain't a compliment.
Yeah.
Back to the story. Gamma finds Amy with the bird in the prison cell as they both befriend each other, resulting in Gamma letting Amy and the bird escape. Amy then plays
Wow.
Hammer and has to beat Eggman's high score to earn the Warrior Feather, which allows Amy to do the spin hammer attack, which I personally never use.
I have two things here. One, why would Eggman put prizes for the game that Amy can use to her advantage? Second, anyone else really want to see Eggman play the game to see how he got the high score?
After that, she moves on to her next level, Hot Shelter. Hot Shelter feels like a Mario level in a way. It has platforming elements, but it doesn't have any element of speed. I guess that explains why Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are not granted access to this level. As always, Amy has to avoid the robot while trying to solve puzzles such as putting colored blocks into its corresponding place.
Once Amy escapes Zero via balloon, again, she gets transported to the Mystic Ruins in the past. This is the 5th time one of the story characters gets transported via a ball of light. Anyone else starting to see a pattern here? Amy finds the call with the Chow since she basically became a single mother to them at this point. For the record, Amy is placed in the wrong area and you have to go to the tunnel behind you. Trust me, I remember getting so confused and lost as a kid. When she comes to, she finds herself back on the egg carrier.
Oh my! I need to get out of this place!
Yeah.
Knuckles finds the last of the Master Emerald pieces as he once again gets transported to the Mystic Ruins, only now in flames.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of this?
Yeah.
The fiery shrine in front of you or just the dreams in general, Knuckles?
Knuckles finds the call as well as the Master Emerald, but something gets transported back to the egg carrier.
Is this a dream? It's more like a nightmare.
Sonic and Tails are now inside the egg carrier, but they make their way to the bridge via spinning elevator. Meanwhile, Amy arrives at the bridge, but something gets caught by Eggman. Sonic and Tails arrive, but Eggman snatches the bird from Amy and finds the Chaos Emerald. And then Eggman calls out Gamma.
Everyone's favorite frog napper returns to the fun. Gamma grabs the jet booster and he makes his way to the bridge as he comes across Sonic, Tails, as well as Amy. Just like the Knuckles battle, the Gamma battle is also laughable. So one of the most pointless things in the game. It's even more hilarious when you fight Sonic as Gamma.
Amy stops both Gamma and Sonic from fighting, as Amy tells Sonic that Gamma is her friend by helping her escape from the prison cell. However, the ship begins to lose altitude, as Tails and Amy both escape the egg carrier, but Amy sends her goodbyes to Gamma before leaving. Sonic makes his way to the control room as he changes the ship back to its original shape, which resumes monorail operations.
I feel like we're forgetting something. Really? Kinda. I don't know, probably isn't a big deal.
Alright.
Big somehow ends up in the egg carrier as he finds Froggy in the hot shelter. I should point out that this is the only level where Big has actual speed courtesy of the speed shoes. He does find Froggy in a septic tank, I think, as he jumps onto a switch that drains out the water. Attacking Froggy once again, he finally decides to not run away. Thank goodness. But suddenly...
Huh?
Wow.
That's strange.
You're kidding me, right?
Why? Why is the call involving Big in any of this? It has nothing to do with chaos. The frog has more to do with chaos. This even seems like something very important to remember. Too bad it's being shown to someone who has TV static as an inner voice.
What?
Why not show this to Knuckles or Sonic? I mean, they're friggin' important, right?
Casey, please, just calm down. I got angry when I didn't find any Nemo, and look what happened.
How do I not be
What? Hold on. I mean, I like this video. Don't get me wrong. Hang on.
I got angry when I didn't find any Nemo, and look what happened.
23 likes? Dislikes? Hold on. I have liked this video, and suddenly people dislike this video? Shame on you. first of all, I did react to this back in episode 850th episode special. And you tell me back then in 2020, 20 people dislike it? Lucas, if you watch this episode right now about to react, how many people like this video now? Who can they blame to dislike it? Continue on.
I will not be silenced!
Thankfully, Big gets transported back to the egg carrier and he takes the monorail to the bridge. But then he's stopped by Eggman along with Chaos. Eggman beats Chaos both emeralds, including the emerald inside Froggy. I'm sad that we never get to see Chaos 5. Sonic notices that Chaos is already transformed as Big rescues Froggy while Sonic defeats the remainder of Chaos.
Okay, Big's boss battle is simply casting the lure and hoping that Froggy catches the bait inside Chaos. Sonic's battle against Chaos 6 feels more like a boss battle than Big's. Sonic has to throw freeze bombs at Chaos, causing him to, well, freeze. Sonic can either jump onto him, use the homing attack, or use the ancient light, doubling the damage.
Makes sense.
I want to point out that Eggman is throwing the freeze bombs. Eggman, do you want to win or not?
After defeating Chaos 6, Knuckles arrives as Sonic chases after Eggman. But it turns out that Chaos is still there.
I guess he didn't get enough the first time.
Yeah.
Knuckles' version of Chaos 6 is about the same as Sonic's version. Like the Ancient Light, the maximum heat Knuckles attack can also double the damage onto Chaos 6. Knuckles defeats Chaos 6 and retrieves the Chaos Emeralds as well as the Master Emerald pieces back to Angel Island. After the egg carrier falls to its doom, Tails and Amy fly back to Station Square as Amy finds a pendant by the bird with its family. Meanwhile, Tails finds Eggman crashed onto Station Square because not only was Chaos defeated, but also the egg carrier was ruined. But he still wants to destroy Station Square via missile that ends up being a dud.
I can't believe this.
Whack, whack, whack.
Yeah.
Will you cut that out?
Tails finds the missile as he races Eggman to the missile before Eggman detonates it, which results in Tails deciding to defeat Eggman on his own. This leads to Tails' final level, Speed Highway. It's the same with Sonic, except with Tails trying to beat Eggman to the missile. Eggman doesn't take his loss very well, as he uses the Egg Walker to destroy Tails. This leads to probably the most epic line that Eggman says in this entire game.
You fool. Away, before I make mincemeat out of you.
The Egg Walker works like this. Tails has to be underneath this thing as Eggman tries to stomp on Tails. Tails uses his continuous tailspin attacks to defeat the leg, therefore having the machine fall and have Tails inflict damage onto Eggman. Tails then defeats the Egg Walker as well as Eggman, and he flies back to the Mystic Ruins in respect of the many citizens of Station Square.
At the Mystic Ruins, Amy finds Eggman's base in search for the bird's family and final egg. But suddenly Zero appears. And it's the same spiel, so not much to add here.
Gamma arrives at the Mystic Ruins as he erases Eggman from his memory and decides to save the other E-Series robots. He finds the Windstone as well as E-103 Delta in Windy Valley. Here's the weird thing. You save the robots by, get this, destroying them. I guess he does this in order to free the creature inside the robot.
It's either that, or it's something like breaking them free of Eggman's grasp since they don't have the will to break free themselves. Back at Eggman's base, Amy escaped from Zero from the final egg, but wasn't able to find the bird's family. However, she remembered that the bird escaped from the egg carrier, which must be where the bird's family is at right now. It's easy to be confused, but remember, she took a blow to the head when we met her, so it probably blanked or something. Anyway, Sonic falls outrageously far once again, this time into the Mystic Ruins jungle, as the Ball of Light tries to show Sonic something, which results in his next level, Lost World. Wouldn't it be hilarious if he just was hallucinating this whole time, just because of the fall? No? Just me? Okay.
Lost World has an Aztec feel to it, which I personally enjoy. There's a snake section where you press on switches that opens the door to the next area. Sonic then has to use mirrors to light up a dark area and later replicate the scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark by running away from a giant boulder. Every time I play through this section, I expect to hear the theme of Indiana Jones for some reason. After that, he can use the lighted path to literally walk on walls as he makes his way to a room that shows a mural. Foreshadowing. It then leads to Sonic being transported to the Mystic Ruins in flames. He finds the call as he approaches the Master Emerald, but he gets transported back to the Mystic Ruins in the present. Sonic finds Eggman as he approaches Eggman's base, which results in Sonic's final stage, Final Egg.
Final Egg is an amazing final stage for Sonic. It has everything. Platforming, speed, and one section that has an amazing rock theme to it. Sonic finds Eggman at the center of his base as he comes across Eggman, resulting in Sonic's final boss, Egg Viper. After hearing a lot of
Get a load of this.
Sonic uses the homing attack to defeat Eggman. However, in the later half of the stage, Eggman starts destroying platforms. Sonic defeats Eggman as the Egg Viper begins to explode. He's throwing it on top of you. The guy's a psychopath. Gotta love him. After saving E104 Epsilon in Red Mountain, Gamma figures out that both E105 Zeta and E101 Beta might still be on the Egg Carrier.
Sonic and Tails reunite in Mystic Ruins as they talk about what happened the previous day. Meanwhile, Knuckles successfully restores the Master Emerald and Angel Island rises back up from the ocean. Gamma makes his way to the Egg Carrier as he unlocks the Hot Shelter sector, where he saves E105 Zeta. After doing so, Gamma finds an updated Beta codenamed E101 Mach 2. Beta explodes, but he sees the bird underneath Beta, therefore causing Gamma to commit suicide, releasing the bird in Gamma. This, in my opinion, is the saddest moment I've ever witnessed in any video game.
Only a true work of art can make you mournful of a machine who gained a soul. Amy finds the bird's family, completely unaware of what happened to her robot buddy, by the way, but Zero knocks out the bird. This leads to Amy's only boss battle against Zero, surrounded by a laser barrier. Amy has to defeat Zero by knocking him into the laser barrier, causing him to be stunned, and exposing his weak point. I'm beginning to see why you made this comparison when you played Scooby-Doo Unmasked. The bird wakes up, and Amy is happy to see the bird and its family together.
On to the final story. We see the Tornado 2 plane crash by Big's home. Luckily, the game shows us why. You see, while in the Egg Carrier, Big finds the Tornado 2 as he somehow manages to fly the plane, escaping the Egg Carrier. Angel Island falls again, as Eggman is shocked to see Chaos still alive. As Knuckles begins to worry about Angel Island falling again, he finds Eggman, who tells him about Chaos. Meanwhile, Sonic is about to relax, as Tails lets Sonic know that Angel Island is falling again. Sonic and Tails make their way to Angel Island, as Knuckles tells Sonic and Tails that Chaos stole back the Chaos Emerald, and that he's still alive.
What? Bum bum bum!
Wow.
Sonic gets transported for the final time to the flaming Mystic Ruins as Pac-Man and his trap died via Chaos. Tikal seals Chaos in the Master Emerald, which explains why Chaos broke out of the Master Emerald at the start of the game's story. Sonic and Tails find the Tornado 2 plane, but Chaos gets the last emerald and floods Station Square completely. Eggman unleashes a new egg carrier designed to destroy Perfect Chaos, but to no avail. We find out that the ball of light was actually Tikal the whole time. And tells Sonic that Chaos must be stopped.
Sonic and his friends find out that Chaos only used the negative power of the Emerald, but Sonic uses the positive energy to transform him into Super Sonic.
Wow.
In the game's final boss, Perfect Chaos. I love this boss battle. Sonic has to maintain high speed skimming on water while trying to avoid Chaos' attacks. With Sonic's high speed, Sonic speeds into Chaos and bashes into Chaos' brain.
Darn straight. This battle will always be a highlight of my childhood. The setting, the speed, the music. Oh God, the music! Open Your Heart plays for the first half, and I couldn't ask for a better backdrop.
Attacking Chaos 5 more times, and Chaos is defeated once and for all.
Wow.
Neutralizes him, therefore making it nice again. Then Tikal takes Chaos to the inner realms of heaven.
All's well that ends well, right?
Yeah, but why is Station Square still flooded? Does that mean Eggman can build a robotic land now? Honestly, I have no idea.
Honestly, everyone's beating this dead horse. Let's just leave it alone. I'm wondering how Sonic chased Eggman with all the water around him. Did he need the emeralds for that, or no? You know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
That concludes the story mode for this game. On to the other game modes.
First, there's a trial mode, which lets you replay the levels, only to earn more emblems if you complete an additional mission. If you're playing the DX version, you can play the mission mode. It lets you replay certain levels while completing tasks as certain characters.
I like using it as a practice or free mode through stages. When you replay a level in trial mode, you have to complete the next mission for the emblem. I prefer just finishing the level and having fun. So mission mode is perfect for that, as emblem missions are disabled. I'm so glad the stage mission thing was fixed in the sequel.
Finally, there's a Chow Guard, which lets you raise Chows by giving it fruit or essence of the animal creatures that you collect after defeating enemies at each level. With enough care, you can have your Chows participate in races. Honestly, this is something I never bother with. It's nice to do something like this in a game, but it's more of a time waster in my opinion.
Honestly, it's a pain in the butt in this game. The races make no sense. I feel like this is the beta version of the Chow system. This is another thing perfected in Adventure 2. That one was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a long game to get through. But at least we got it done, though. So after all these years, does this game still hold up with all the other Sonic games we have so far? Of course it does.
Okay.
Everything you remember from the Genesis games is successfully transferred here. From the platforming to speed, and everything needed for a Sonic game.
Makes sense.
The game soundtrack is something I could definitely jam to whenever I'm on the road, and has a lot of memorable tracks, especially the main theme. Graphically, it looks amazing, even when the technical glitches. But hey, that's the Dreamcast for you.
Okay.
The first was a bit clunky to me, but this was one of the reasons why this review took so long. Trying to get every single character storyline into one coherent story.
Yeah.
Gameplay-wise, I have some mixed opinions. While I love the gameplay styles from Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, I'm a bit iffy with the newcomers. I'm okay with Amy and Gamma, but I'm definitely not okay with Big's gameplay. It would have been fitting for a minigame, but it doesn't feel right when you have this style of gameplay in a Sonic game, no less. He's a pointless character that was meant to be added just to add something else to the story. Overall, it's still one of my favorite 3 Sonic games.
Okay, if you watch this remix, it's gonna be that, but fish is for you, but that, but anyway, continue on.
Added just to add something else to the story. Overall, it's still one of my favorite 3 Sonic games of all time. I'll definitely play this game more often when I get a chance.
Okay.
I couldn't agree more. I love this game to death. I will hold it close to my heart forever, honestly. It's got the right amount of speed and control, a versatile moveset that's easy to learn and practice with, and I feel there's something to enjoy with everyone, especially after the story ends. The adventure fields are still my favorite hub worlds in gaming, bar none. I love being able to use all my tricks and abilities when I'm just going to a level. Besides, it gives the world around us more of an identity. This will always be a major classic to me. And hey, you got Adventure on Steam? Then check out some mods for it. There's all kinds of great little changes that can be implemented, but my favorite is definitely Better SatAX. Something I never noticed as a kid, especially since at that point I didn't get to play Sonic Adventure until 2004 when I got my GameCube, since my Dreamcast died in early 2002.
Okay.
Was that there were some major graphical changes. I'm guessing because they either didn't have the files at all, or they couldn't enhance the photographs they used to create textures.
Okay.
So they had to change them up. Better SatAX replaces the textures with the original ones, fixes lighting issues so they match the Dreamcast version, and there's even Dreamcast character models. It really feels like Sonic Adventure from the Dreamcast brought into proper HD. I can't recommend this game enough, but I can only say so much.
Yes.
You just gotta try it. Seriously, go and play this game. I love Sonic Adventure.
Yo, thanks a million for letting me help you out on this one, Gamer. I really hope that we can do this again sometime.
Whenever possible, GC. Whenever possible. I'm the Fairly OddGamer, and I wish you all good luck for the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Take care, everyone.
So that was Sonic Adventure with GC, something like that, for the Fairly OddGamer. It's written by Payson Foot. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. What do I think about this episode? I think it was amazing. So far, this episode went to be a success. Okay, we'll just read credits. Okay, makes more sense. Anyway. Okay, I heard fireworks in the background. That's me, of course. Okay. It's kind of like Barney font to me, but that's just me, of course. But anyways, guys, that was LJPCBM Reacts episode number 873. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, that was brand new. That was just brand new. Okay, that makes more sense. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one's going to be LJPCBM Reacts episode number 874, which is going to be about Fairly OddGamer episode number 20. I'm not sure what it's going to be about yet, but we'll see what happens. Till next time, Sue Jefferson, bye, peace out, baby. We get more LJPCBM Reacts, guys, me soon. Till it's out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time. I ask Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question, and the giver holds the key.